Hey guys, it's Lorboto, and I wanted to make a quick guide on how to easily and safely kill the Dark Lord, the final boss of Doom Eternal's latest DLC. I've seen a lot of people struggle, take hours to defeat him, and just scream bloody murder because his eyes would never flash green. Well, if you're one of those people, this video is for you. The Dark Lord isn't a particularly interesting fight, nor is it particularly difficult, but a few simple strategies can help you defeat him quickly and consistently. The Dark Lord has 5 phases, and his HP, attacks, and behavior change during the different phases. During phase 1, he has 20,000 HP, a small variety of attacks, and acts rather passively. During phase 2 and 3, he has 15,000 HP per phase, with a few more attacks and acts a bit more aggressively. During the final phases, phases 4 and 5, he has 20,000 HP per phase, one more attack than in phase 2 and 3, and is a bit more aggressive. Regarding his attacks, the Dark Lord has, during phase 1, 3 melee attacks, one where he swings his sword top to bottom, one where he swings his sword bottom to top, one where he gets sideways to swing his sword, and his eyes flash green. This is the only time where you can stagger the Dark Lord, and is your window of opportunity to deal massive damage to him. He also has one long range attack, where he shoots his ult turret at you with Stormtrooper aim, a shield bash, where he deals damage and pushes you back if you get hit by it. This only triggers if you are literally standing on his feet, which you shouldn't be doing, and a single spectral wolf summon, where killing that wolf will give you half a hammer charge. During phases 2 and 3, he has all of the attacks I just mentioned, plus a shield charge, with which he will always open with, keep that in mind. He also now lobs grenades at you once in a while, which can deal significant damage, and he now summons 2 spectral wolves instead of just 1. Each spectral wolf gives you half a hammer charge, so 1 full charge total when you kill them. During phases 4 and 5, he has all of the attacks I mentioned in phases 1, 2, and 3, and he now summons 2 spectral wolves and a spectral Hell Knight. Do note that the spectral Hell Knight does not give you any hammer charges. He can also summon a spectral Tyrant, Mancubus, Pain Elemental, and Baron, which can be a decent threat if not dealt with properly and swiftly. It is important to note that if you get hit by any of his melee attacks, which includes his shield bash ability and his charge ability, he heals himself up, so you especially want to avoid getting hit by those. Also, if you shoot him during his melee attacks and his eyes didn't flash green, he'll heal up, so you need to keep an eye out for that sideways stare animation and his green eyes. Now that we've gone over the attacks of the Dark Lord, we're going to go over dealing damage to the Dark Lord, the basic strategies to kill him, how you hunt for his green eyes, the basic damage cycles you want to implement, and discuss more advanced strategies at the end. To deal damage to the Dark Lord, you're going to have to shoot him while his eyes are green, which will stagger him for a bit. You can just DPS him while he is staggered, or hit him with a hammer to put him in a prolonged stagger state, and have a far longer window of opportunity to deal damage to him. To optimize this strategy, you're going to want to deal as much damage as you can during the initial stagger, before hitting him with the hammer and damaging him during the prolonged stagger state. The basic strategy for the Dark Lord is pretty simple, and fits in a single weapon, the chain gun. It turns out the chain gun shield can block any of the Dark Lord's attack, including his melee strikes, without dealing significant damage to your shield, or healing him at all, putting you in a very safe position during the fight. The chain gun is also a great weapon to deal with his wolves, so you can farm those also important hammer charges and eliminate threats from the safety of your shield. In addition, the chain gun itself does enough damage to stagger the Dark Lord when his eyes flash green. This makes it an excellent defensive and offensive tool for this boss fight. The only drawback with using the chain gun shield is that its DPS isn't great, so if you were to fight him just with a chain gun shield, it would probably take a while. But it turns out that the other mod on that weapon, the turret mod, has one of the highest DPS in game, without having to bother quick swapping. This means that once you've staggered the Dark Lord, you're going to want to eventually swap to the turret mod at some point. The beauty of it all is that you can use the hammer attack to animation cancel the mod swap. For those of you who have been listening, this means that the attack pattern against the Dark Lord is going to be chain gunning him until his stagger almost wears off, press the swap mod key, quickly attack with the hammer to cancel the mod swapping animation, and then shoot him with the turret mod. It's that simple. You should also drop grenades at his feet to deal extra damage. If you want to be really fancy and safe, you can even end this cycle with a mod swap back to the chain gun shield mod, and a blood punch to animation cancel the mod swap and deal a good chunk of damage to the Dark Lord at the same time. With this combo, you can hunt for the green eyes from the safety of your shield, deal considerable damage to him with the turret mod and a blood punch, and finish the pattern from your safety of your shield. rinse, and repeat. Now this isn't the fastest, or the best, or the highest DPS fancy pants strategy out there, but it's simple, it's effective, and actually top tier with regards to DPS. In other words, unless your quick swapping technique is on point, you're going to want to use this method because there aren't that many methods out there that are any better. The protection afforded by the shield is obviously great for staying alive, but also really efficient at finding those green eyes opening without taking the risk of healing him. You'll be killing the Dark Lord in a matter of minutes instead of hours now. Now there's no perfect setup I know of for his green eyes, but you want to be close enough for him to trigger a melee attack, but not so close that he shield bashes you. If you stray too far from him, he'll start charging you, or stay at a distance and shoot you with his gun. If that happens, it means you need to get closer. You should use dash to avoid his charge and melee attacks, but keep that shield up just in case you get hit. Again, there's no surefire way to trigger his green eyes attacks, but by keeping your shield up, you'll be able to stay closer to him with minimal risk. As soon as you see them, just shoot. There are a few more advanced strategies that can be implemented, and tips that can be used to deal with this boss more optimally. The first more quote-unquote advanced strategy is not to wait for the Spectral Wolf summons for hammer charges, but to farm them through glory kills on nearby zombies. This will also recharge your Blood Punch, which you'll be using to damage the boss, and if you want to be extra safe, you can actually exit the glory kill animation with your shield up by having it as your weapon at the start of the animation and holding right click during the animation. Another tip is to use your hammer to kill his wolves starting phase 2. You want to keep the hammer just for him in phase 1 because he's easy peasy, but in phases 2 to 5 you can use your hammer to kill them. Why, you ask? Well, because killing both wolves drops 2 half hammer charges, meaning that you'll use your hammer and immediately recharge your hammer with their drops, making it essentially a free, safe kill. This is particularly useful for phases 4 and 5, where the Dark Lord also summons a Spectral Hell Knight with these wolves. You can precision bolt Ballista that Hell Knight, or you can just use your hammer to clear all 3 mobs in one swift attack. The other benefit of this strategy is that killing these mobs with the hammer actually gives you ammo drops. So not only are you killing these for free, you actually get paid with ammo to do them. Brilliant! Now, you should definitely use your hammer for his larger summons in phases 4 and 5 because those can be nasty if not taken care of quickly. The hammer does AoE damage all around you to the spectral summons, so you want to jump in as fast as possible in the middle of the fray to avoid them dispersing and just smash that hammer to kill everything. Mobs behind you will also die. You can actually meat hook the spectral summons to get right in there. This can be a bit risky, and you might take a bit of damage, but it's probably the best way to deal with these summons. Be sure to recharge your hammer with zombie glory kills immediately after clearing those summons, because if you get unlucky and he summons them again and you don't have a hammer, you're in trouble. If you get caught without the hammer and he summons his massive army, you can Desperation BFG them out of existence. That works well. You obviously want to restack health and armor on the nearby zombies if you ever get low, and you can also chainsaw them for a bit of ammo, or even use your chainsaw to gain a few invincibility frames if you get into trouble. And the last point is you want to learn where you can find hammers on the map. You have 1 hammer in phase 1, 1 hammer in phases 2 and 3, and that's about it. In a nutshell, use your chain gun, use the turret mod, use your hammer to kill the spectral summons, and be sure to always have a hammer on you for phases 4 and 5. Once you do that, you'll be golden. Thanks for dropping by, and see you around.